Yeah, greetings and welcome, dear guests. I'm Batuhan, one of the moderators. Before the session begins, please turn off your microphones and do not open them during the speech. Thank you. So we are the members of Democracy University ELT Student Club, and this is our 16th online session. Today's topic is related to today's issue. It is the changing role of teachers with COVID-19 by Dr. BETÜL BAL-GEZEGİN. She's joining us from 19 Mayıs University.
Hello again, everyone. I am BEGÜM, student of the ELT department at IZMIR Democracy University. And let me now give you some brief information about the session. The moderator is Dr. NURDAN KAVAKLI, who is also our academic advisor at ELT department. This session is about 20-25 minutes long, and the Q&A sessions will be held by Q&A managers, me and my friend BATUHAN ATEŞ. You may prefer to shoot your questions in chat box, or you may use your mics if eligible. Also, at the end of our session, we will take a family picture. So we will inform you when it's time to turn your cameras on. Now, we would like to kindly invite Dr. NURDAN KAVAKLI to start off the 16th session. Thank you.
Thank you very much one more time, dear Batuhan and Begüm. Today we are going to host a very special guest from Samsun, from the Department of English Language Teaching, you know the same. And she will be with us to talk about the changing roles of teachers with COVID-19, because we know that there are some roles change not only according to teachers, but also administrators, maybe some other high stakes. And we are always struggling with these kind of issues, you know. And although there are some realities in the world, we are somehow getting accustomed to the maybe new normal according to or due to this pandemic situation. I just want to remember a very special quote from Sheldon Cooper from Big Bang Theory. He says, "Caesars cut paper, paper cover rock, and rock crushes lizards." So we know that there are some realities, but what about the new normal, and what about the changing roles of teacher? So I don't want to take too much time, as my guest is waiting over there. Please welcome Dr. BETÜL BAL-GEZEGİN, our very special guest from 19 Mayıs University, to talk about the roles of teachers, which are actually changing. Thank you.
Thank you, Nurdan Hocam. Can you hear me? Okay, perfect. Batuhan, Begüm, and my dear Nurdan Hocam. Thanks for this lovely introduction. It's a pleasure for me, an honor for me to be here. And I'm really very pleased that you're doing this webinar series in such a time that we need cooperation, collaboration, and socializing, actually. So this is a big value and contribution to us as just human beings, let alone professional development. So thanks for doing this. Let me first introduce myself very shortly. I work at, as you said, 19 Mayıs University in the ELT department. I'm an assistant professor. My BA degree is from Middle East Technical University, English Language Teaching Department. Then as a Fulbright Scholar, I went to the States to complete my master's degree at Georgia State University. And I came back to Turkey and did my PhD on corpus linguistics again at METÜ. And I've been working at Amasya University, which is my hometown, for the last 10 years. Now it's my first year here in Samsun. Getting you living here. And that's all from me. I will start the presentation if you're okay with this. Let me share my screen. Okay. Is it set? Can you see it? Okay, so as the title says, the presentation, the talk actually is about the changing roles of teachers with COVID-19. When Nurdan Hocam shared this event on Facebook, I got a message. I think somebody was trying to make a joke, and the message was saying, "Is it the teachers who got COVID-19?" And are we talking about the changing roles of these teachers who got COVID-19, or is it the changing roles of teachers who are teaching during this period? So it was a bit fun, and it shows us how language is perceived in different ways by different people. So in this presentation, firstly, I will operationalize some terms like what's the role of a teacher and how teacher roles on face-to-face teaching and online teaching differ. And actually, is there a differentiation? So we should talk about this. And then in the last session, I will talk about a study that I've been conducting in Turkey and how teachers are perceiving their changing roles during this period in Turkey. So let me start with this image here. As we all know, we're passing through hard times, and I don't want to go into detail with all these dates and numbers that we have been seeing for the last 3 months that we are all used to. But as we all know that in many of the countries, most of the countries, schools are closed, and it affected more than 1.5 billion students in different levels from pre-primary to tertiary education. And in Turkey, the situation is, as you see, about 25 million students are affected by the school closures. And these are the numbers also of total females and total males are affected countrywide in Turkey. So we were not expecting this, of course, and it has many different dimensions to talk about. But one of the biggest things going on is the teacher side. So what are teachers experiencing in these rough times? And this is something that we all actually, as educators, as teachers, to think about. So in this presentation, this talk will touch on that. With your contributions and questions, we will deal on that and dig deeper into that, hopefully. So firstly, let's talk about what a role means, because we have been actually hearing this a lot. Role of teachers, teacher roles, and there are even questions in the exams where teachers are appointed to their jobs. You know, in Turkey, KPSS exams, there are questions about teacher roles. As Wright describes it in basic terms, a role means what one is expected to do in a given environment, and it incorporates 3 principal elements. One is the work done and job-related activities. The second one is the relationships and communications one has with others. And the third one is beliefs and attitudes. I wanted to put this slide here because when we talk about roles, we just think about work done and job-related activities, like the responsibilities that you have to do while teaching. But actually, the other 2 elements are also very important: the relationship, the communication, and beliefs and attitudes. Especially the second one, the relationship and communication, has become more prominent and has become like more apparent in these rough times that we are dealing with at that moment. So what are teacher roles in general? I'm not talking about teacher roles in online education, but in general. I wanted to put this slide because I wanted to feel honored as teachers and educators here, because there are many adjectives, many roles that we have. I don't know if there are any jobs that have so many positive, let's say, adjectives and roles that are attributed, like manager, observer, diagnostician, educator, organizer, decision maker, presenter, communicator, facilitator, counselor, evaluator, and the list goes on. And there are different people with different grouping, you know. So for example, Harden and Crosby in 2000 says information provider, role model, facilitator, assessor, planner, resource developer, sorry. So the teacher, the word teacher has many sub roles under this one sole word. And I think we should be proud of that. So these are the general roles, teacher roles we have. Then the question is, does online teaching require different roles? And the answer is yes. Online teaching actually requires different roles and competencies than classroom teaching. And the studies, the previous studies conducting actually shows that. Teacher presence in online learning is more critical, complex, and challenging than traditional educational environments due to characteristics of the technology. And actually, as I will mention through the end of this talk, this has become what the teachers in Turkey has also reported, that things are becoming complex and challenging for them. And this may actually create a new burnout for the teachers. And the third one, as I said, online teaching is an entirely new education experience, and it requires the re-examination of the online instructors' roles. So when I was searching for the roles that are peculiar to online teachers, again, I have come across different groupings from different scholars. Two very prominent names are Berg and Coppola. Their categorization and their, let's say, grouping of teacher roles of online teaching have been used a lot in the literature, so I'll touch on that. But as you see, the roles are grouped as like managerial roles, social roles, researcher, advisor, professional, designer, assessor, pedagogical, and technical. As you see, some of them overlap with the traditional teacher roles, of course, because we're talking about teachers. So let's move on to the categorization by Berg, 1995. These are four main categories of online teacher roles. One is pedagogical, the second one is social, the third one is managerial, and the fourth one is technical. Let's quickly look at what these mean. So pedagogical roles of teachers, as the name suggests, it's about facilitating educational processes for students' understanding and the understanding of critical concepts, principles, and skills. So it's all about things that we do in class in terms of teaching and the content of the course. And the tasks in this pedagogical role of teachers is like encouraging students' knowledge sharing, knowledge building through interactive discussion, designing a variety of educational experiences, providing feedback, and referring to external resources or experts in the field. So everything you do to convey the content to the students in classroom. Okay, let's move on to the next one. Oh, one thing before I move on to the second category. With the pedagogical roles of teachers, there is a phrase that is used a lot, and I think it will be used a lot again in the future. It's a skill that online teachers should gain, should acquire somehow. It's a very important, very significant one, online moderation skill. In this skill, teachers are seen as weavers who facilitate an effective online discussion by viewing statements and relating them to relevant concepts and theories so as to enable the development of ideas through collaborative discourse. So in an online teaching, you have to create a collaborative discourse and the level of the students is actually not a big matter. I am a parent of a first grade student, and I will actually share some of the experiences that I've been going through because I've been auditing their lessons. And I can say that collaboration and interaction is very important in all levels of online teaching. Okay, so let's move on to the second category. The first one was pedagogical skills, roles. The second one is social roles of teachers. And by this, we mean promoting a friendly environment and community feelings to support student cognitive learning processes, developing harmony, group cohesiveness, and collective identity, and developing nurturing skills by encouraging participation, giving ample feedback and rewards, attending to individual concerns, and using a friendly personal tone. This group of role, the social role of teachers, is actually now the most important one, because we know teachers and students are like, we are experiencing a trauma in a way, a global trauma, and this is actually seen in online lessons as well. So the teachers have this big role and responsibility of motivating their students and create a friendly environment, and this is not easy. Okay, and let's move on to the, the last one. They have to create a strong sense of belonging and willingness to contribute. which is not easy but very important. So the third group is managerial roles of teachers. It's about organization of courses and procedural and administrative tasks associated with the learning environment, like setting up your goals, coordinating assignments, managing online discussion forums, and handling overall course structure, setting clear agendas and objectives, establishing procedural rules and decision-making norms, and using clearly structured content and timetables to lay out the expectations to improve the quality of online course. So like time management, classroom management, and everything is about planning and organization is in this category of managerial roles. Some of the tools that we are using are very good at helping us doing this. For example, in our university here, we are using Google Classroom. And it's really helpful for teachers to set up goals and, you know, timetables and doing exams and stuff. Okay, the last one is technical roles of the teachers. To be honest, while I was conducting this study that I've mentioned, I was expecting this role of teachers to be the highest one that's mentioned, but no, technical issues was not a big problem for teachers in Turkey. But technical difficulty is one of the most significant causes of students' dissatisfaction with web-based courses. So if there is a problem about technology, then students may feel demotivated and they may not cooperate with the teacher. So for this role, the tasks of teachers include referring to students' technical support resources, addressing technical concerns, diagnosing and clarifying problems encountered, allowing students sufficient time to learn new programs, and etc. At this point, I have to say that we are at a moment where actually teachers feel behind the students in terms of technical issues, because teachers started asking questions about how to use certain students are nodding, yes, we are actually open to learning new things as teachers, and I myself ask my students in the first week what I should use to reach them. Is Zoom better? Do you know other devices? Because they are far in front of us in this regard. So with technical roles, I mean, there are things to be discussed in detail. So let's move on to discussing and comparing face-to-face versus online teaching roles. Actually, there are not many studies done comparing these two different sets of roles. There are many studies discussing the roles of teachers online only, and then roles of teachers face-to-face only. So comparison is something that I haven't seen a lot. So as it says, most of the studies focus on exploring online teachers' roles alone. But there are two of the studies that I want to mention here. One is by Coppola et al. And they have found that the cognitive aspects of instruction in online teaching shifted deeper complexity. And for the effective role, teachers were required to express more emotions, even though they felt more intimate with their students. With the managerial role, this required teachers to pay greater attention to detail, more structure, and additional student monitoring. And these all three differences, let me say, were also found in the study that I have been conducting. The teachers felt more pressure to talk about their emotions, pacify their students to relieve them. And for the managerial role, most of the teachers, there were more than 300 teachers joined the study, participated in the study, and most of them said that they have more responsibility actually monitoring their students, making them feel focused, motivating them, etc. So this study by Coppola et al. Is actually parallel to what I have found personally in my study as well. Another study is by Easton, 2003, and it's basically saying the same things, that teachers have two discrete roles when teaching online. And these are instructional designer and indirection facilitator. So the most important, one of the most important things that I have seen in all the studies I have reviewed for this talk is focusing on interaction. It's not easy to make students interact, not just among themselves, but also with the teacher. And making this sustainable is also another issue. Let me move on. So here in this part, I don't know how I'm doing time-wise. Okay, good. So let me talk about the changing roles of teachers in Turkey, and I'll give details about the study that I have conducted, because I was really curious to learn about the perceptions of teachers. Do they feel burdened? Is there any kind of burnout? Do they feel that they are doing good in this online environment? So I created a survey, an online survey, which has different sections like responsibilities of teachers, their general thoughts, the support that they have taken from administration, their cooperation with parents, and their classroom management issues, etc. So one of the parts, as I said, was about how they perceive their roles in this online environment. And I had very interesting results, actually. So I had more than 300 participants, 302 participants. Actually, the study is still going on. So these are the initial results, I should say. So more than half of this, almost all of them were like it was their first time experiencing online teaching. So this was something new for them. And when I asked them if they think that any course that is related to online teaching should be a part of our graduate courses in ELT departments or in any teacher education programs, 333 of them said yes, it should be a part of their curriculum, which is actually showing that there is a need to educate teachers in this field. And we don't know what's going on in the future, because we didn't know this was coming as well. But it seems like online teaching will be a part of our education life from now on. And this was a question that I asked to teachers. Do you think that your courses online or online teaching should still be a part of your teaching life in the future? Even if things get better, we go to our classes back, and almost all of them said yes. So they are actually happy with the situation that they are able to teach online. Another thing that was surprising was almost all of the teachers were happy and satisfied. There were two statements saying, are you satisfied and happy with the online education that you're giving, you're providing? They said yes. But when I asked them if they want to go back to their classes, again, all of them said yes. So there is this big dilemma going on in their minds. They want their classes and students back face-to-face teaching, but they think that this also contributed to their professional life, and they say that they have learned a lot of new things about themselves as a teacher, and this helped them to gain more self-confidence again as teachers. Because when we talk here, we assume that most of the teachers know technology, but this is not the case. I am auditing some of the courses that different levels of students are joining. So in one of the courses, the first week, I heard that the teacher for the primary students couldn't unmute students, and all the students were talking at the same time. Can you imagine the chaos at this moment? And the poor teacher said, I don't know how to unmute you, and this is really going weird because normally my husband was doing this, but he's not here now. So she was like explaining her situation, and it was really interesting to see that. So, but as the study says, teachers are happy with that. I mean, they are happy that they are learning new things. New responsibilities are making them happy. So let's move on to the next slide, which is showing us the results about roles of teachers. So the blue one is, I strongly agree The red one shows agree. And the statement was, teaching online has added new teaching roles. Do you agree or not? And as you see, almost all of the teachers said that teaching online has added new teaching roles to them. And there was open-ended question asking what these roles were. So I will skip to that part. These will be in Turkish, but I will translate them for the ones who are listening abroad. So the first one is talking about, let me read it very quickly. Öğrencinin yönlendirilmesi ve sınıf ortamının sağlıklı bir ders işlenmesi noktasında öğretmene düşen sorumluluk daha fazladır. Sınıf kontrolünün sağlanması yüzde eğitime göre daha zordur. So this is something most of the teachers have talked about. Classroom management is a big issue. The next one, öğrencilerin ders olan ilgilerini arttırmaya çalışmak. Again, motivating students. And zamanı çok etkili kullanmak. Again, classroom management. And the last one, öğrenciyi tam anlamıyla kontrol edemiyorsunuz. So she's complaining about, again, classroom management issues. So all the roles that teachers found added to them and creating stress, let me say, are about classroom management. They don't know how to control students. They don't know how to create a healthy, fruitful atmosphere where students and teachers can interact with each other. So to sum up, the responsibilities the teachers talked about, the new roles that they talked about were about interaction, not just with students, but among students themselves, classroom management, motivation, time management, keeping the students focused, getting feedback from the students. So these were like main, I'm still working on grouping them. So this is like not the final version, but all the roles that they think they have learned and learning and added to their learning life is about these categories. So I'm about to finalize my presentation, but while I was searching thoughts from teachers, I've been reading blogs from teachers worldwide, and I come across this nice letter, let me say, from a teacher, and I want to share it with you. So the teacher says, these past weeks have felt like months as we have struggled to adapt to this new global reality. For many of us in education, it has also meant adapting the new ways of teaching, learning, and communicating. I've been forced to learn or figure out how to use more technology in the past 2 weeks than I probably have in the past 2 years of classroom teaching. This is actually what most of the experts in the field say. They have been trying to incorporate technology for many years, but it happens in a week, right? So necessity is a big issue. Let me skip to the last one because I'm running out of time. I'm already a stronger, nimbler, more adaptable teacher today than I was a few weeks ago. We are all feeling the worry and the strain, but I feel certain that when we find our even keel that again, as a world and a profession, many of us will return to the classroom better poised to help our students learn. So we always have to think about the positive side, and this is also applicable for the roles we are gaining today. So this is a quotation that I wanted to share with you. The students of the future, and actually this future is happening now, will demand the learning support that is appropriate for their situation or context. Nothing more, nothing less. And they want it at the moment the need arises. So this is actually the situation we are experiencing now. Not sooner, not later. Mobile devices will be a key technology to provide that learning support that we are seeking now. And actually this is the end of the presentation, the talk. If you want to see the references and want to get the slide, you can
Anne merhaba.
Oops. Sorry. This is the end of my talk. Nurdan Hocam, Batuhan, Begüm, have questions?
Yes, thank you very much for this very informative and also very fruitful session. Thanks to your speech, we have learned some roles of teachers like pedagogical, social, technical, and managerial, and it seems like most of the time the teachers are having problems related to managerial roles because of the online sessions, let's say, because you said you're using Google Class, right? We are using Microsoft Teams, some others use Zooms, and you know, there are lots of platforms as well, and it changes from one to another too. So it seems like although it is like burden for most of the teachers, I think it is just the survival instinct, because at the time of being, we just come across these problems, and maybe in time we are going to solve these problems by ourselves as well, because we are also learning. We are in the phase of learning as being teachers or instructors too. So thank you very much for your very fruitful speech. I think we have one or two questions, it seems, and I'm going to give the microphone to my dear students. First of all, we are going to take a family photo, I guess. So Begüm, could you please give the information?
Yeah, before going to the Q&A session, could you please turn your cameras on so we can take our family photo?
And could you please stop sharing, Betül Hocam?
Yes, I'm trying to do it now.
Okay.
Just a moment. Okay, I did it, right?
Not now.
No?
Just could you please press the button stop sharing just below?
Yes, I found it.
Okay,
sorry.
We did it. Okay, so
we are learning.
Yes, we are learning. So take your seats. I'm going to take today's photo. Okay, be ready. One more time. Okay, done. Thank you. Yes, Batuhan.
Yeah, thank you for that important speech again. A question coming from Talha Erdalı. Are there any current issues among academicians about designing and including a course related to remote teaching with new teacher roles in the ELT program, or any study on this topic?
So correct me if I'm mistaken. Does he ask if there are any available courses in the ELT curriculum about this now?
No, designing and including a course related to remote teaching with these changing roles of teachers. Are you aware of these, or any academics are working on this issue or not?
Well, I have been reading a lot for this topic for the last month because I was getting ready for this talk. To my knowledge, no, but things are going very fast these days. So I'm sure there are people working on that. So yeah, hopefully there will be. But there are calls, I have seen calls from different journals and let's say experts working on that. So I have seen that calls.
And also in the universities, we have centers on distance education. Maybe they can design such kind of courses. Remember the Turkish language and also the principles of Turkish Revolution and also the Atatürk. So maybe we can have these kind of new courses.
There should be, yeah. This was something that popped up in the survey that I have conducted. We are in need of urgent assistance somehow.
Yes.
So also we have another question from Shanti Pawan. For all the days to the class instead of going directly to the content, really make them boredom instead of what to do. Could you tell me?
Well, she shouldn't go directly to the content, first of all. There are many online activities that she can do. I think she, right, Shanti? Should be she. So I think lecturing or talking about the content of the course takes not as much as we do in normal classes in online education. Because what I have seen in the courses that I've been observing, as I said in the talk, there is more talk about emotions, you know, students are talking about they are feeling, teachers are also doing that. So warm-up sessions like that work a lot. And this actually creates a cooperation and, you know, this warm atmosphere where students feel more motivated. So instead of just jumping on the content and spending a lot of time like talking to the computer, interaction, again, interaction is the key term. I hope this helps.
Yeah, thank you. And thank you one more time for joining us and sharing our excitement today. Our special thanks goes to Dr. BETÜL BAL-GEZEGİN, and hope to see you again. Please follow us on Instagram, YouTube, and Facebook. I shared the links in the chat box. And thank you. Bye for now.
You are doing great. Keep doing this. We love it. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Bye for now. Hope to see you tomorrow. We just have 2 more e-talks left. Bye for now.
Bye. Bye.